Okay, so I'm talking, today's date is October 21st, 1992, and I'm talking to my bubby, Molly Kravitz. So,
Could it be Molly Cooper?
it could, well, we want to get the whole history. First of all, when's your birthday?
July 29th.
July 29th. When were you born? What year?
I'm going to be 89 years.
You're going to be 89 years.
Yeah. That is, what year? 1903.
1903. Where were you born?
In Poland.
Do you remember what city?
Gerdov.
Where?
Gerdov.
Zerov.
Gerdov, yeah.
How long did you live there for?
I was there till I was 10 years old.
What do you remember?
What I remember?
Yeah.
I remember everything.
Well, tell me.
Oh, I tell you. My father was a furrier, and in the old country we had 2 rooms, so we worked in the house. And we were 6 children.
Okay.
We lived in the house. My brothers were furriers. My 3 brothers. And I worked by fur. And I was married. I was 18 years old.
Okay. So how, now in Poland,
Yeah.
You're the oldest, right?
No.
Who was the oldest?
Joe was the oldest.
Joe was the oldest?
Yeah.
I thought you were the oldest.
No. Just a minute. Was I the oldest?
I could be wrong.
I think just a minute. Yeah, Joe was the oldest.
Okay, so it was Joe and then...
And then it was me.
Yeah.
And then it was Sam.
Yeah.
Ida.
Yeah.
Annie.
Annie and Israel.
And Israel.
Yeah, but Annie and Israel were born... First was Israel, right? Israel, then Annie, right?
Israel and Annie were born in Canada.
Yeah, and Annie's the baby.
Annie's the baby.
Yeah.
And we lived in 2 rooms, and that's the way it was in Poland. You worked in the same room, you cooked in the same room, you ate in the same room, and that was that. If you had to go to the bathroom, you had to go out in the yard, way out to the end of the yard. There was our bathrooms. Yeah.
Oh, so what was your father's name?
Morris.
Morris. Okay, and what was your mother's name?
Sarah.
Do you know how they met, or how? How did your parents meet? Was it arranged marriage?
Yes. Those years it was arranged marriages. She didn't meet my father until she went under the kippah.
Oh, you're kidding?
Yeah.
Oh. So do you remember how old she was when she got married?
She says that she was 22 years old.
So that must have been old back then. Was that old?
Well, that time people got married very, very young. My mother comes from a family that my grandmother had 15 children.
Your grandmother had 15 children?
Yeah.
Do you remember your grandmother?
Do
you remember your grandmother?
Yes.
What was her name?
What was her name? Their name was Lubartowski. That was and what was her name? My mother's name was Sprinzer. And my Baba's name was, I really don't remember.
Baba.
Baba.
Yeah.
Booba. Booba we called her. I don't remember what her name was. And she used to come to us and help my mother clean up. And she used to lay under the beds and clean up and work. And she was a very good lady. My grandfather was a Hebrew teacher.
In the town, or where?
In the town, in the same place where they lived, they had a school. And he was teaching Hebrew. to the children. And they lived in one room, they lived, a big, big room, and right in the same hall he had his school.
Mm-hmm.
And then he teach children. He was a teacher of children. He taught them to learn Hebrew.
Mm-hmm.
And that was my grandfather.
So why did your father leave Poland?
He left Poland because times were very bad and you couldn't make a living.
Mm-hmm.
So he went to America.
Okay. When did you come? How did you get to America?
We got to America in 1914 when the war broke out.
Uh-huh.
We were the first people to leave Poland.
Mm-hmm.
And we left, and we just made the last boat, and the boat's name was the second Titanic.
Yeah, you told me that.
Remember that?
Yeah, well, you told me that. Yeah.
And it was that was the last boat that left, and the war broke out.
So there's always this story, Anna always told me this story about pulling lots or something like that.
Who?
Anna said like your father, they drew lots who was going to go on the ship. Is that true?
What?
Anna always said like when your father
Yeah.
went to get on the ship, not everybody could get on, so they drew straws, and whoever got the right straw got on.
No.
That's not true?
We couldn't get, I don't know about my father, but when we went to America, we were the last people that we went through, and it was 1914, and we had a boat named Titanic,
Mm-hmm.
the second Titanic.
So what was it like? How long did it take you to get?
It was only 6 days that we were on the boat.
Uh-huh.
We came to Liverpool.
Okay, do you remember the trip from Poland to Liverpool?
Well, we went on trains, and we got to Liverpool. And there we waited 8 days,
Uh-huh.
and we were like in a concentration camp. We had to sleep in a big, big place,
Mm-hmm.
with beds, and people were waiting for a boat. And we came with the second Titanic.
Mm-hmm.
And that
Do you remember what it was like on the boat?
I was very sick. I was about 10 years old,
Mm-hmm.
and they used to carry me around all the time. I didn't feel good. And my brother, Sam, he was the one that used to run upstairs and see what we get for breakfast.
Mm-hmm.
He was running up, and he came down so excited. We have oranges today.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine we have oranges today.
Mm-hmm.
So we went up for breakfast, and then we had my Auntie Rosie. My mother took a sister.
Oh, is that the one that lived in New York? Or
Yeah.
is it about the Auntie Rosie? Okay.
Took a sister with her. And then she was crying, we can't eat white bread. So
Why couldn't you eat white bread?
she didn't like white bread.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the sailors or the captain there, I don't remember who it was, brought a bread, a big, big black bread.
Mm-hmm.
And we ate that bread, and she was always crying, this is not good and that is not good. Anyways, she lived with us until she got married.
When you first got to like England, what did you think of it as compared to living in Poland? Do you remember?
England was not very nice. We were in Liverpool.
Yeah, you didn't like it, or?
It was nothing to. The people are very, very poor. They lived right near the ocean,
Mm-hmm.
and they wore aprons like sacks from sack material,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what and we had to wait 8 days. We were in a concentration camp life,
Mm-hmm.
and we waited to get to eat. So one of the men said, "Don't eat too much. It's wartime."
Mm-hmm.
So they gave us soup and rice, a little tiny bit, and in a bowl,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what you get to eat. That's what we got to eat.
So, where did you first land when you got? Where did the ship dock?
Where did we land? We landed where the boats stay there.
What country? Was it Canada or was it the States?
No, it wasn't Canada.
Was it Halifax?
It wasn't Halifax.
Yeah.
So there we landed.
What was your first impression of Halifax as a kid?
Well, as a kid, we waited 8 days for a boat, and we slept in a big, like a concentration camp, a boat. And we slept there. We waited 8 days till we got onto the boat. And when we passed, the doors closed, and the people who were left behind, and the yelling and the screaming was unbearable from the other people. And they were screaming, "How lucky can you get that you went through?" And they were left behind. They were left in the war. The war broke out. So, but we were lucky enough to get on that boat, and then the war broke out, and we were on the boat, and we saw that they're shooting at each other, the boats. They came in, and they
Who was shooting who?
The soldiers were shooting on the boat.
Which enemy?
Which enemy? It was, I suppose, the Germans. So it was Germans. It was not Canadians. It was German. And they came in, and the captain told us, "You don't say one word. You don't know nothing." We just had to. You're hot?
Yeah.
The heat is open.
Okay, it's okay.
Open that one.
Yeah.
And we didn't say nothing. They came in to inspect the boat if they were carrying people or ammunition. And that, so we were stopped on the water for 24 hours.
Were you scared? Do you remember being scared?
No, they told us, but don't say nothing. Just don't say nothing. And I was all of 10 years old.
So, when you got to Halifax, what you said, you spent 8 days in Halifax? Or no, how long did you spend in Halifax?
We came to Halifax, we had to wait for a boat. And then when it came back...
What did you think of Canada when you first saw it?
Well, I was too young to understand what Canada was. But I was always mad at my father. Why didn't you go to live in New York? Because in New York we didn't have to pay for schooling, for books, you know. And here we had to buy books. It was something terrible. I didn't have the money. Everything was scarce. The only thing was cheap was a big round bread. Cost only that time 50 or 60 cents. A big size bread. And everything was cheap. Bananas were cheap. 3 dozen bananas you could have buy for 25 cents.
Yeah, wow.
The men used to go with a wagon and scream, "Bananas, bananas!"
Yeah.
And the people used to come out to the wagon and take bananas by him.
So when did you go from Halifax right away to Montreal?
Mm?
Did you go to Halifax right away to Montreal? When you got to Halifax,
Yeah, we waited for the boat.
and then you went on to where, Montreal?
Yeah, yeah.
Did you know you were going to go to Montreal when you got to Canada?
Yeah, we knew we were going to Canada.
But did you know specifically Montreal?
Eh?
Did you know that you were going to go to Montreal, or?
We knew we were going to Canada.
But you didn't know Montreal?
We didn't know Montreal. We know we're going to Canada. That's all we knew. There was no like to say Montreal. Montreal is the year after that became here. We knew we were in Canada. See, we were in Canada.
So what did your father do when he first got started here?
Well, he went to work. He was a furrier. So he went to work by fur. First, he was in South America.
Who was in South
My
America?
father went to South America.
And what, he left you in Canada?
Yes, we were in Canada. He went away. One day, he got up And he just left and went to Canada. And
You mean to South America?
he went to South America.
Yeah.
And then he came back. And when he came back, he says, when you come to America, you walk the earth of America, you cannot be in Poland anymore.
Mm-hmm. Where did he go in South America, do you know?
He went to, I don't know where he went, but he worked there.
For how long?
He worked there and he had a brother-in-law
Mm-hmm.
that he went with.
Mm-hmm.
And that brother-in-law had a wife
Mm-hmm.
and he had 6 children.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the little girls fell off the table and she broke her spine.
Mm-hmm.
So her husband went to America and he wanted she should come to America, but she wouldn't leave that little girl with her mother.
Mm-hmm.
So she wouldn't go. And then the war broke out and they were left home.
Mm-hmm.
They were left home. A cat is better off than I am.
Uh-huh.
A cat can walk and I can't walk. She fell off a table and she broke her spine.
Mm-hmm.
And she couldn't walk. And the mother will not leave her to go to her husband. So the war broke out here and she was left in Poland and he got lost altogether.
And so in South America?
Yeah, never heard of him.
Uh-huh.
And my father came home.
So do you remember how long your father went to South America for?
It must have been in 1912.
So he went for how long? How many months or a year? Or how long did he go?
He was there about a year.
Mm-hmm.
And he came home and my mother was very sick.
Mm-hmm.
She had a molar.
Mm-hmm.
And he could not stay.
Mm-hmm.
He said, when you walk on the earth of America, you cannot stay in Poland anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And he went and he took the train and he went away. And he said in a year, he will send for us.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the way it was.
Mm-hmm. Did you go to school in Montreal?
Yes. I went to Aberdeen School.
For how long?
Not very long. I went to school till about 12 or 13 years. And then my father says, can't go to school anymore, it's enough. You won't be able to wash diapers?
Mm-hmm.
You understand what
Yeah, I understand. Yeah.
So I had to quit school and go to work.
And you worked in a factory?
Yes. First I went to work at Miss Star's,
Mm-hmm.
a very well-known factory.
Was it mostly Jewish? Was it mostly Jewish?
It was mostly Jewish, yeah.
Yeah.
They had men operators, they were Jewish.
Mm-hmm.
They were Jewish people, they were Gentile people.
Mm-hmm.
There was mixture of people. It's a factory, it was a big factory. The name was Miss Style.
Mm-hmm. And where did you live in Montreal? On what street?
We lived on St. Dominic Street,
Uh-huh.
and then we lived on, where was it? St. Dominic near the where? Anyway, we lived on St. Dominic Street. Let it be like that. We lived on Colonial Street first.
Mm-hmm.
Then we moved and we lived on St. Dominic Street. We lived first when we came to Colonial. And then we moved and we lived on St. Dominic Street, near Sherbrooke,
Mm-hmm.
for a long time.
So, did you date a lot? Did you go on dates? Were you
Who,
allowed to?
me?
Yeah, you.
No, I didn't go. I just loved to dance.
Uh-huh.
So they had dancing Saturday night and Sunday afternoon. And I used to go dancing.
Where'd you go dancing?
Sinclair's Hall.
Uh-huh. Well, who'd you go with?
I went with girls,
Uh-huh.
and there we met boys. They came over and they asked us for a dance.
Uh-huh.
And that was where we went with Sinclair Hall. So we used to go dancing Wednesday night and Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how...
So, where did you meet Zeta, or it was an arranged marriage?
No. I had a friend,
Mm-hmm.
Becky, and he was her brother.
Mm-hmm.
And she didn't want me to marry him.
Well, when you first met him, did you like him or what?
No, I came into the house and I went out with her. I was a friend about 3 years. And I was when I met my friend, I was all of 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
And then I used to come into the house. And as the years went by, I got friendly with him.
Mm-hmm.
And he was 7.5 years older than me.
So he was an old man, you thought?
Well, he was a grown man, and we were a bunch of kids.
So, like, when you were 15, he was 22?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was he when I married him?
Well, how old were you? You were 19?
18.
Oh, so you were 18.
18. And he
I
was...
was 25.
27.
Oh, so he's older than 7 years?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So he was like 9 years older than you?
No, 7 years.
Okay, so he was if you got married, what you said, 18?
18.
So 18 and 7 is 25.
He was 25 years old.
Yeah.
And that's...
So who decided you were going to get married, or did he ask you to marry him?
He asked me to marry him after I knew him for many years later on. I was friends with his sister.
Yeah, but did you think he was really special?
He was... There wasn't such a thing as special.
Mm-hmm.
You met a boy, and that time you met a boy, everybody used to envy you.
Mm-hmm.
But his sister didn't like that I should marry him.
What did she say?
He's not good, he's not well, what do you need him for, you know, But he was going after me.
Mm-hmm. So do you remember what date you got married on?
Yes, I got married in December.
Do you remember what date?
Date I do not exactly remember. That's in the marriage contract. But I know it was winter.
Uh-huh. So what was the wedding like?
The wedding was a wedding. We lived in a big house, and we have a double parlor, do you call it?
Mm-hmm.
It's 2 rooms, and you close the doors. It's 2 separate rooms.
Mm-hmm.
I got married on a Friday. Not a big wedding.
How many people were there?
There was people in the shoe, and people came like my aunties, my uncles, whoever, my 3 brothers,
Mm-hmm.
you know, all that. But I got married in that shoe as the Russian-Polish shoe.
And the Russian-Polish shul.
Shoe, yeah.
Where was that?
It was in St. Dominic near Duluth.
Mm-hmm.
And all I had was a party Friday night and Saturday and Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
3
Friday,
days,
Saturday, Sunday. That's not bad.
3 days we partied.
Mm-hmm.
You call it in Jewish the Sheva Bruchas.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a blessing.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the wedding. That's all. That's all.
So, did you go on a honeymoon, or what did you do?
We didn't go on no honeymoons.
Mm-hmm.
I moved into her sister, and I had hell on earth.
Why?
That's the kind of a person that she was. She said to me one day that she told him that he'll never amount to anything because I want to eat vegetables.
Yeah.
And she gives her children
Oh, hold on the
coke.
Okay. Okay, continue. Where were we? Oh yeah, so the wedding. It was
The wedding?
yeah,
I told you what kind of wedding you had.
3 days.
And we had, it's called Scheverbruches.
Yeah.
So I had Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday. We had at home, you know. They invited people. People came, and that was the wedding. No music, no nothing.
Oh, did you ate a lot?
We ate, we prepared things. People came. My father invited his shoe, and they came 3 days. We were celebrating the wedding.
Oh.
Yeah, and that
Did your parents give you any special gift or anything?
gifts. We got very little gifts those days. Very little.
What do you remember? What if they gave you anything or?
No, I don't know. I think I got mostly money. Mostly money. Some sheets, bedding. My mother gave me. All these things. It's not a wedding like
this now.
Like Bunny cost me $12,000.
Now,
You were in Bunny's wedding.
I went sure as a Bunny's wedding.
See, I paid for the wedding, and that was it.
Now, when did you move out of his sister's house?
Of my sister.
No, your sister-in-law, sister-in-law.
My sister-in-law. I was there only a couple of months, and I couldn't take no more. And I moved out to another woman's house. That woman was a businesswoman. She was never home, and she had a son used to come on 2 o'clock in the morning and sit on the toilet and read till 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning.
And what did Zeta do? Frank Cooper.
He was working by men's work, men's suits and pants. That was his work. Worked in the factory.
How long did he do that for?
Huh?
How long did he do that for?
He did that work from when he started till he died. That was his work.
Yeah, but as a kid, I don't remember. He wasn't working when I was a kid.
He was working all the time.
Yeah, but when I was...
When you were a kid, I think he was sick already.
Yeah.
So he didn't work no more. He stopped working. I went to work.
Did you like it?
I liked my work very much because I came in and I went to work for cloaks, you know, ladies wear by Miss Style, and they kept me like a golden ring, and they liked me very much.
What did your workday consist of? What did your workday have? What time did you start and what time did you finish?
We used to start 8 o'clock. We were finished 5 o'clock.
So, when did you get pregnant with Evelyn?
With Evelyn.
How old were you?
10 months, I think, after I was married. Yeah.
So when you went, so you took care of Evelyn the whole time you were...
Yeah, after I stopped working. And I took care of her. We got a small house on the little street. It was about 2.5 rooms. First I lived by somebody in a room. And then we got a house on the little street. And that's where I had Evelyn.
What did you used to do at night? Like after... So Zeta would come home what time, and were you cooking all day, or...?
I wasn't cooking all day. I cooked very fast. He used to come home 6 o'clock. He used to work from 8 to 6. And that was the work. Sometimes they had overtime.
How many days a week did he work?
That time was 6 days a week, I think. No, it was 5 days a week. But Saturday and Sunday you don't work. So it's only 7 days a week there.
So what did you have a radio at that time, or?
Well, later on when he got sick, I went out and I bought him. He didn't go out. He suffered with appendix, and the doctors did not know. They didn't know what kind of sick. He was complaining it hurts him inside and it hurts him. And he was in the hospital, and they couldn't find out what was wrong with him. Well, until one day his appendix burst, and it spread it all over him, and he died from that.
Okay, but I was trying. I remember that, but I just wanted to sort of go back in time. I mean, we just spanned his whole life. But when you were like first married with Evelyn, like what did you do in the evenings when he came? Did you have a radio or anything, or did you?
Yeah, I had a radio. I bought a radio. I remember I paid $80 for a radio because he couldn't work. He was sick, so I was all alone. I went to work, and he used to stay home and listen to the radio.
Now, when you had Evelyn, like you had Evelyn, and then when did you start working? How old was Evelyn? Was she a baby?
Oh no, that was a long time. I started working after Evelyn was married.
Oh, so we're talking, okay, so.
Yeah, I didn't go.
So what? Yeah, so when Evelyn was born, right?
Yeah.
Then you stayed home with her, and.
Yeah, I stayed home.
Okay, and then at that time, did you have a radio, or what did you do in the evenings?
What we did?
Did you have a lot of friends?
I had a lot of friends here, but we used to get together, and when we were younger, we used Friday night. You didn't open up a light, and you used to sit and eat pumpkin seeds. And make dirt this high.
Yeah.
And that's what you did. Friday night, I made Shabbos. And that's what we were doing.
So how many years later was my mother born?
Your mother was born 5 years after her. They're 5 years different.
5? No, I think they're 7. Aren't they 7? Mommy's 63, no. Evelyn's going to be 70.
How old is your mother?
63.
63?
Yeah.
And Evelyn is...
69 or 70.
70.
Yeah.
Just 70 years.
Okay.
Yeah. She looks it now. She's all worn out from the baby.
I thought Evelyn looked good. I thought Evelyn looked good.
No, she don't. Under her eyes is black. She had a lot of trouble from her husband. He's not a well man.
No.
He killed himself with the smoking.
Yeah, well, we all know that.
You know that, huh?
So, okay, let's go back. Okay. What else do I want to ask you? Think of all this. So who lived around the house? Did Ida live around you, or what about...
Ida lived... Ida married later, much later than me, don't forget. That... So...
How did Ida meet Sam?
Ida met Sam. Sam used to work for my father. That's how she met him.
And what was he? Did your father put him in business or anything?
No, he worked for my father.
Yeah.
And then then he got older, and he was married. He went into his own business. And that's what it was. Yeah.
So where did everybody live in relation to you?
They lived. Ida lived once. I got her a house near me. And who else? Joe was in New York most of the times. He lived in New York.
How did he meet Sarah?
How Joe met Sarah?
Yeah.
It was a match.
It was a match?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Sure.
How old was he?
He was old enough.
Well, what's old enough? 14?
Old enough is, I think he was near the 40s.
Near 40 when he got married?
Yeah. Got married late.
And what about Sarah?
Sarah was late too.
Uh-huh.
She was also in the late, I don't remember if it must have been a shot between them. That's how they met. Somebody mixed in. And they...
What did Joe do for a living?
He was a furrier.
Who did he work for?
He worked for her.
But for who? What company?
I don't remember what company he worked. First, my father had a factory. So the boys worked for father. We all worked for father. And then they went away. Sam became a very good operator. He worked for Alexander. It's a very big firm. And he was sewing mink. That is one of the best and one of the most expensive.
Expensive fur?
Mink.
Yeah.
So that's what Sam was doing. Joe was...
So as a kid, did you ever have a mink coat?
Who?
You.
I have a mink coat.
But did you have a mink coat as a kid, or since your father was in the furrier?
No. I have a mink coat. Joe looked into that a couple of years. It's at Even's now. It's storage. I have a nice mink coat, a very good one.
I remember as a kid we used to play with, you had these fox or something in the closet. Remember when we used to come and play with the heads and the tail around the, we used to play with that on Van Horn?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a lot of stories to tell.
Yeah.
What happened those days.
Okay, now, so you moved, like you got married, but then meanwhile, so like Annie and Israel were still at home because they were still kids.
Sure.
Yeah. How did Israel meet Bernice?
Well, I don't know. They went dancing somewhere and he met her. Yeah.
So it seems like your whole family dances to romance.
We were all good dancers.
Yeah.
My father used to scream at me and yell, "Geht schon weiter tanzen." Going, we get you weiter, no tanzen. And he only wanted us to stay and work with him. But we went out, we left, we didn't stay. We just didn't stay. Oh, we had to go out, I went out. I used to go dancing Wednesday night, Saturday night, and Sunday. And that was me.
Did you ever enter any dance contests or anything?
No, we didn't have that.
Yeah. Were all your friends Jewish?
Yeah.
Okay. What did you usually speak, Yiddish or English?
We spoke whatever one wanted, we spoke. In the beginning when we came, I didn't know English. I was 10 years old. I went to school for a while, and then my father said, "What's the matter? You gotta go to school? You won't be able to wash diapers?"
Yeah.
And
did your father ever speak English or only Yiddish?
No. He never spoke English, but he had a cutter, a Frenchman, and he learned the French to teach the Frenchmen to talk Jewish.
Oh, you're kidding.
He used to say, Cavalier. He used to say, "Yes, Moshe." He says, "Cavalier, do skins and make a coat." And the guy understood what he was saying, learned to speak Jewish.
No.
He had so much fun. That is the way that guy used to say, Moshe, give me skins for a coat." And the guy used to taught him how to speak Jewish. But my father never learned to speak English.
What about your mother? Never learned English too?
No.
Now, how old was your mother when she died?
She was 72 years, I think. Something like that. She was a sick woman.
Do you remember when she died? What year?
I don't exactly remember the year.
But didn't, as a kid, as a baby, like, I don't remember, it always seemed like your father always seemed to have, they were always talking about he had a girlfriend or someone who was living with him after, like, your mother died?
No, he married a woman.
He got married again?
Yeah. He got married to a sick woman.
How old was he when he got married again?
I don't remember that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember that. But she was a woman that came with us on the same boat.
Oh, do you think it was a secret girlfriend he had and finally he married her?
No. She came in the same boat with us.
Uh-huh.
Father was here.
Yeah.
And he sent us tickets to come. And that was the last boat that we took. There was no more coming here.
Okay, so so did your father came first and then you came after?
Sure.
Okay.
He sent for us.
Oh, so that's what, so first you went to South America and then came back to...
Yeah, and he came back to Jankel. And he was home about 6 days, and he said, when you walk on the earth of America, you cannot walk here anymore.
Oh, okay, so first he left Poland, went to South America, South America, and then came back to Poland.
Yeah, he came back a year. It took about a year that he was away. And he came home, he couldn't be, he was home maybe 4 or 5 days, and he went away again. And then he went with a brother-in-law. Our whole story was there.
So he was pretty adventuresome. He liked adventure.
Oh yeah, he was in the South America with a brother-in-law, and the brother-in-law had a wife and 6 children.
Now, where did he used to live? Like, I remember going to this house and
St. Dominic.
I remember he had big ears. That's all I remember is big ears.
We lived in St. Dominic, lived in 3 flats, if you remember.
But I said he used to live downstairs or something?
Who?
Your father.
My father had a factory downstairs.
No, but I remember it's like, as a kid, we'd go there and he'd have this house.
It was a 3 flat house.
Yeah.
But he had a factory downstairs. And we lived in the middle floor, and my auntie lived on top, in the same house.
When did he get married again? How old was he?
Oh, he got married. He married to, she was a sister, a ship sister. She came in the same boat with my mother.
What was her name?
What was her name? Hofcher. I don't remember her name now. But he was married, and she thought my father had a lot of money. But she fooled herself. She fooled herself. She was very disappointed.
No mink coat.
No mink coat. I think she had a porcelain coat. I have a mink coat.
Now, how long did she live? Longer than him, or what happened? Like, I remember he died like in 1963 or 4 or something.
She died before him. She was a sick woman.
How long were they married for?
Not long, about. I don't think it was even a year.
Oh, that's all. Okay.
Yeah. She made a mistake. She thought my father has a lot of money. She went for the money, but she fooled herself. He had no money. She had more money than he had. He had money. My father never had money. My mother had to work out the living very hard, and
what type of a man was your father?
he was a very good man. He'd give the shirt off his back.
Yeah.
To somebody else.
Yeah.
He was better to strangers than to us.
Did he hit you a lot?
No, he never hit me, but he always wanted to hit who? Son. Joe was the prime of the family. But Joe went away and he lived in New York.
What did he do in New York?
He was a farrier. We were all.
So he was a wild guy. Was he a real swinger?
Nah, in those days it didn't swing so much as it's not nowadays. We used to go dancing too, and that was it. It wasn't nowadays. No. That time it was a different life altogether. Things were cheap, and you didn't even have the money to buy it. You could get at 12 breads for $1. Big breads for $1. Didn't even cost 10 cents a double bread.
Did you ever travel with Zeta?
No.
He never seemed to go anywhere.
He didn't want. The only thing that he wanted was he wanted to go to Israel to die. He wouldn't give him the money to go to Israel to die. And he didn't go anywhere. Joe once worked in New York. He was a furrier. Sam was a very good furrier. He only used to work so mink. He's a good operator.
Now, did you like to travel?
Yes, I traveled a lot.
Yeah. You went to the New York World Fair in 1936?
I went to New York. I went to California.
Well, I remember when you went to California. You were supposed to go for 2 weeks and come back for 2 months, or what?
I went to Annie.
Yeah.
You know, Annie just left.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Let's see what else. Okay. So, like, when Zeta died, what was it, in 1970, right?
Yeah. My mother died a lot before that.
So how long did you go to Annie for? How long did you go to Annie for? Remember you went and then they had the earthquake?
Yeah. They expect one right now.
In California?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I went, was there 3 months.
What was the earthquake like?
We didn't, the earthquake hit the poor section. All the poor people lost everything. But where Annie was, nothing happened.
But so this was what, 1970 or what?
Something like that. Something like that. But only the poor sections. By Annie, nothing happened. When her son got up and he heard it's an earthquake, he didn't wake up. I woke up and I walked out. They told me if you hear something, you get up and you walk out of the house.
How long did it last for?
Oh, it lasted for weeks and weeks. We had shakes, little shakes, you know.
But was it a really big shake when you...
That time...
What did you think?
That time, one man said to the other man, he's going to give him a ride. Pick him up, he's taken for work. So the baby started to cry. And he left, and when the earthquake hit, the earth opened up and he came along and he fell in with the car. And the other man was saved.
Now, what happened to the house when you were at Annie's house?
Nothing.
Were you sleeping? Did you feel anything?
No. I went outside.
But then if you didn't, who told you? Who was in the house to tell you to go outside?
And he said, her son.
Which one, Leonard?
Leonard says, let's go outside. And then he was sleeping in the bed. She didn't know from nothing. And we went out and we saw that man, that he went away. And the other man called him to come, and he says, I can't go, the baby's crying. And he was left, and the other one, the earth opened up and he swallowed him. And he was left alive. We didn't feel it very much by Annie. There's a movie actor that has only bought, he always bought things in glass. And the glass was standing, and he said nothing happened to the glass. And when he touched it, everything fell apart like dust. everything fell apart.
Okay, so you came back from Annie, and then you started going to the Golden Age Club, right?
Yeah. I was 50 years a member of the Golden Age.
Mm-hmm.
50 years.
So how'd you meet your second love?
My second love lived in the same street with me.
Okay, so what was his name?
Izzy Kravitz.
Izzy. Okay, because I remember I was in Switzerland. It was 1972. I was working in Switzerland, and Evelyn wrote me you had 3 boyfriends going at one time. So and you weren't sure which one you wanted to. They all proposed marriage to you, right? You were hot stuff.
Yeah, hot stuff. That man was a golden man.
He's great. Well, how'd you meet him?
He lived in the same street.
Mm-hmm. So you met him at the Golden Age Club?
No. He lived in this, where I lived, the same street.
Mm-hmm.
We lived. Anyway, somebody introduced me to him.
So was it instant love?
Nah, love. In our ages,
Oh, there must have been something about it.
there's nothing about the love small that doesn't go. But he was a golden man.
So what happened? The first time you met him, what did he do? You went out for lunch? What'd you do?
I don't even remember what we did. I met us supper. Must have gone out for supper.
Mm-hmm.
And then he started to come into the house, and he came for quite a while. And then he asked me to marry him. But his daughter did not like me.
Mm-hmm.
Because he had a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
And she figured when I come in, I'll have the money. But I wasn't smart enough. I didn't go for his money. I didn't care for nothing. You see, if he said, you're going to be engaged, he bought me this ring.
Mm-hmm. Here, lift your hand up so I can zoom in on the ring. What a stone. Yeah.
It's a blue sapphire.
Yeah.
In fact, Annie Wendelman, Ida's daughter, her husband made that ring for me.
So, do you
I don't even know what he paid for it.
I wasn't at the wedding. Where was I? What happened? Where'd you get married? You eloped. You eloped, didn't you?
We didn't have a big wedding. We just went there. Even my children wasn't there.
I know, so you eloped.
Yeah.
So what happened?
Nothing happened.
Tell me about the wedding.
There was nothing, no wedding. We just went to by the river and we got married. That's all.
Uh-huh. So what did you do for a honeymoon?
No, we didn't do nothing for a honeymoon. We didn't go for no honeymoon.
So how old were you? Remember?
I don't remember. I wasn't very young.
Oh wait, so you must have been, let's say, it was 72? So you must have been, what, 60?
Something like that. Maybe a little older. But, you know, it's not no romances. He was a wonderful man, that's all.
So what did he do?
He was in the fruit business.
Mm-hmm.
It was nice of him. Came a yonder. He used to give the girls an order. Used to bring them fruit. He was a wonderful man.
How old was he when you got married to him? Do you remember?
No, I don't.
How old? You don't remember how old he was when you got married?
Who, me?
No, is he?
Is he? He was in the 70s. He wasn't... He was a little older than me, that's all.
Uh-huh.
And...
He was so sweet. I remember he's such a sweet guy.
He was such a good guy. But you know what he did that I didn't know? You know, he used to deal with the fruit.
Yeah.
And every customer that he had used to come in and they used to give him drinks.
Yeah, but he didn't have the fruit store when you were married, right?
No fruit, so he had a truck.
Oh, yeah. Oh, he had a truck.
Yeah, he had a big truck, and he used to deliver orders to the house. All in Newton, all the rich people in there.
So, when he met you, did he still have his truck? or?
Oh, he had a stroke from before.
Yeah, but did he stop working when he met you, or what?
No, he kept on his business.
Yeah, but I remember at one point he stopped and he was helping kids cross the street. Remember he did that for a while? He used to help the kids in the morning cross the street, in the afternoon. They always told me they loved him. They thought he was great.
Yeah. He was a very good man.
So what were you going to say? So he used to have a little schnapps every time?
Every time he went to a house,
Yeah.
they used to give him a drink. I never knew of that.
Mm-hmm.
But at home he didn't drink.
Mm-hmm.
And he killed his liver.
Oh.
That's what he died from.
Because I remember in camp he wanted me to have a little schnapps one time.
You see, we went, I didn't know the customers used to come in and he drank everywhere. He never drank home.
Oh, so who told you this?
Mm?
Who told you this?
I found out.
Uh-huh.
And he got sick. And everybody, the nurses said, he doesn't look sick. He looked so healthy on his face. You couldn't tell nothing. But he killed his liver.
Mm-hmm.
And that was it. And that's what he died from.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the end of it.
Yeah, so how long were you married to him?
I wasn't married very long. I was about 2.5 years, that's all.
That's all? I thought it was more like 6 or something.
No, I wasn't married very long. His daughter was only afraid. She hated me. Was only afraid I'm going to get his money.
Mm-hmm.
But she got his money. Yeah, he wrote me over $10,000. Was it $5,000?
Mm-hmm.
Before I got married. And that was a lot of money to me. And that was all.
Mm-hmm.
But he was a very good man. I was in Miami with him and he wanted to buy me.
Oh, you went to Miami with him?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I remember you went down, yeah.
Sure, went to Miami.
Twice you went, didn't you?
Yeah.
Where'd you go?
We were in, let me remember what was the name of it. Not far, not deep in,
Yeah,
not very deep in Miami.
You both came back really tanned.
Eh?
You both came back really tanned.
Well, we were there such a long time, we were there 3 months.
Uh-huh.
So, wherever you go, Miami, and the sun shines. You can't get away from it. And I lived right near the park. I like here,
Mm-hmm.
just across the street was the park. It was the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
Used to go there to bathe. And I had a really good time.
Mm-hmm.
Went to other hotels at night for dancing.
Oh, yeah, so I remember he used to say one time when he first says, I love your Bubby, she has the nicest breasts. Remember? And you hit him?
I don't remember.
I do. You were in love. I remember. You say you weren't in love, but there was a twinkle in your eye.
No.
You were acting like you were a teenager again.
Yeah, teenager. And that was the whole story. And his daughter all I got was $5,000 when he died.
Mm-hmm.
That's all. I asked him to write me over some money. So he said he made a will with his daughter.
Mm-hmm.
So I couldn't do nothing already.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't going to divorce him over the money.
Mm-hmm.
So that's all. I got some money and that was it.
Do you remember when you went up to camp with me?
Yeah, to camp.
So that was 1974.
We used to go to the country every year.
Yeah, but do you remember you went up? Okay, so tell me about the country and then we'll talk about camp.
What was the country?
Okay. Okay, when you were married to Zeta, what did you do in the summer times?
We used to go to summertime. We took our house. We went to the country.
Where?
In Shawbridge, Walmaran.
Mm-hmm. For how long did you go up
For
for?
the summer.
So you could get off. Oh, you weren't working then, or were you working?
No, I wasn't working. I didn't work.
Uh-huh. So who went up with you?
That was when the girls were young.
Uh-huh.
That's the only time. When they got older, Well, Evelyn was already, I used to take a house in Miranda or Shawbridge.
Mm-hmm.
That's where we went for the summer. And that was it. It was a long life, a tiring life. And with everything, I landed up here. So that here, it's a long life. It doesn't end. And it's not too pleasant here.
You miss your house?
I miss my going out. I was always a going out woman, you know.
Oh, I knew that.
I was always going, I was always going away, I was all doing things. And now I sit here like a klutz.
But you seem better than everybody else here. You seem better than everybody else.
I do more than everybody else.
Yeah. So what's your day like here?
It depends on the days.
Okay, so when did you come to Maimonides? How long have you been here?
It's 3 years.
3 years already?
So I got sick. And I went to the hospital. I was in the hospital. And from the hospital, they got me this place. So from the hospital, I came here, and it's 3 years that I'm here.
Wow.
Yeah.
So.
And now I get sicker every day.
What's your day like? What's your day consist of here?
Oh, here you have a lot of entertainments here. Every day is something else. And besides that, I draw.
Yeah.
Like Tuesday, we have a teacher. And I showed you all the drawing.
Yeah.
And we go 3 times a day to eat. And that makes the day.
So like it's 5 to 4 now. Are you missing any social activities?
I don't know what's going on. I know it was a concert today.
They don't make you go though, do they?
They don't make you do nothing. You want to go, you're free to go. If you want to go out, you can go out. You get dressed and go out.
You have to tell anybody?
You have to let them know that you're going out.
Yeah, they think you might elope with somebody.
I'm not thinking of that anymore. That don't bother me.
So tell me about the summer. Remember, so it was 1974, and you went up to the Jewish Laurentian Fresh Air Camp for senior citizens. That was your first time going to camp, wasn't it? When you went with Izzy and you.
I went with Izzy to camp.
Yeah, that's when I was there. I was 20.
So we had a very nice time there.
Do you remember, did you dress up as Mae West and walk down the runway, remember? Remember we dressed you up in it was a blue dress or something?
Yeah.
And you walked down the runway and was swinging those hips?
Yeah. What, Mae West.
Yeah, I remember.
Mae West, actually.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it was you, my sexy grandmother.
Yeah. I did a lot of things, a lot of other things. So
yeah.
It was crazy.
It was a good summer. How many years did you go? Just one or two? Or two? How many years did you go to camp there? At the Jewish Laurentian camp?
So?
How many years did you go? You went when I was there?
Well, I went about 2 or 3 years. I went to the camp.
Oh, sorry.
I got myself a boyfriend.
Oh!
You like him?
Yeah.
It's only my grandson.
That's good. You're having a...
Yeah,
you know what is taking my life history.
Oh, I see. That's okay. I won't bother you.
It's okay. You can bother me. You know you can bother
it's okay.
me. You want to know what I'm doing here.
I see. That's nice of your
The town.
grandson. Okay. Spend time.
Do I do enough things here?
Sorry?
Do I do enough things?
I guess so. You're lucky to have him. Nah, I guess. Okay, take care. I gotta do my job. Okay.
Yeah, so how many, did you go to camp only the year that I was there, or you went the year after?
I don't remember if I went before. I don't remember if I went that year. But they used to, When the girls were young, I used to take our house. I went to Shawbridge. I went to Walmeran.
Who'd you go with? Was that any of the relatives?
I went with Ida. Ida had a house.
I remember in Valmoran.
Yeah.
But
she had a house there.
Yeah.
So once I went with her, but I didn't enjoy it. Ida was sick, and I did most of the things there. So it was no rest for me. And that was it. Oh, it's long stories. We went through a life, very hard life.
What do you think was the happiest time of your life?
The hardest time of my life.
The happiest?
Oh, the happiest time. You know, I'm a happy-lucky, you know. I look away from things. Things are bad. It went away. My husband got sick. I went to work. And I bought him a radio. So I bought it by Eaton's. So the man says, "How are you going to pay?" I said, "Cash." He says, "Cash? Cash?" I said, "Yes, cash." It couldn't, you know, they go for the commission. The salesmen go for the commission. If you get a customer and they pay out, they get commission. So
he didn't want you to pay cash.
And I paid cash. He was so disappointed. It was terrible.
I remember as a kid on St. Dominic, when you had the house, used to make, in the kitchen, used to make me dough all the time to make, you know, you'd make me dough to make little, you know, snowmen or something like that. Do you remember that?
I used to make a lot of chips.
Well, I remember the chips. Do you remember also used to have, like, I think you had cherries, maraschino cherries in a jar?
Oh, that was Vishnu, yeah.
I remember, and to climb up and get the jar and eat the cherries.
That was like canned cherries.
Yeah, I used to love them.
And they were put in with sugar and brandy.
Oh, they had brandy in them. I didn't know that.
Yeah. That the brandy keeps it firm, the cherries.
I didn't even know that.
Sure. I used to make a lot of things. A lot of cherries.
Well, I think your Mandelbrot is world famous.
Oh, it's still the best.
You know, when I saw Michael Tiger in the summer in Ottawa, because we have some friends, the same friends.
Yeah.
And he says, "Your grandmother makes the best Mandelbrot in the whole world."
Yeah, I promised to make them here Mandelbrot.
So what's keeping you?
But every Monday and Tuesday I get sick, and I don't go.
Why you think you get sick because you don't want to cook the Mandelbrot?
No, that's not.
I remember the fries.
Chips, huh?
The chips were the best chips in the world.
And your mother says, "I won't make him chips, it dirties the stove." So I said, "I don't care, I can clean the stove." Remember, I used to make chips for her.
I remember Friday night consisted, okay, we'd get there, what, about 6 o'clock? And then we'd have
Fish,
but then we had the chicken soup with your noodles, right? And then the little knedelig.
and little mandla I used to make.
Yeah. And you made the best halishkas in the whole world.
Oh,
Remember we had to take the halishkas home?
you know, I was by Annie, my sister. One day my sister went away and I said, "I'll cook supper." So I made halishkas. And when the boys sat down to eat, you know what they said? "Ma, you can't cook."
Yeah.
That's all. After that, I didn't cook no more. Didn't cook no more.
No, your halishkas were the best. And then you'd make gefilte fish.
Yeah. Good fish too, huh?
Yeah. Gefilte fish, and then after the fish we'd have chicken.
Yeah.
And my mother would bring chops. What else did we have?
You had cake and tea. I used to make cake and mandelbrot and eierkirchlich and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did a lot of baking in my life.
And I always remember Zeta, we'd all be fighting for his red lifesavers, remember? went with Bonnie, Sue and I, and we wanted to get the red lifesaver. And then Passover we had to finish early so we could watch the hockey game.
Yeah. We reformed my father on a lot of things. He used to be very, very religious. We couldn't do nothing. But later in the years, we taught him to be softer. And that's the life. Oh, we went through life. I went through a hard life, a very hard. And this here is killing me here.
What don't you like about it?
It's not what I don't like. I'm tied down here. Not that they don't let you go out, but you got to be back for 5 o'clock. Otherwise, you have no supper. Yeah, this is not for my liking. You know, I'm so active, and now you sit around. And here, I do drawing, and I crochet, and you have a lot of entertainments here.
I still have your, the thing you crocheted for toilet paper.
Yes.
It's in my house.
It is?
Oh yeah, I have two. How many bathrooms? I have 3 bathrooms, and it's in 2 of them.
Oh, you need another one for him?
Sure, you want for the 3rd bathroom? Sure.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna come back.
What colors you need?
Blue.
Blue. Just what I haven't got. I have to go down.
Doesn't matter. The bathroom's blue and silver.
Silver. Huh. This you can get.
Well, any color's okay.
Any color. I'll go down tomorrow to the arts and crafts. They wanted me to work in the arts and crafts. I said, I can be cooked in there and work arts and I do my own. I have a lot of berets that I make. I said, I can't sit there cooked up in a room. I like to be free. And I didn't go, but I have always something to do. I make shawls. I made a vest. I made some for the toilet paper, and they go crazy for it. They like it so much. Nobody can make it. Nobody can make it as nice as mine.
I know. But well, I'm gonna come back in November.
Yeah.
Probably just for a couple of days. So
I couldn't make it one.
Make it in the next couple of weeks.
And then I can make it for you in 2 days. Maybe less than 2 days. I still work good.
Oh, I know.
Huh?
I know.
I still do good things. Yeah. And here, I'm very well known.
Why? Why?
I'm knowing my name is everywhere.
Yeah.
I do a lot of drawing. I showed you all the drawing that I do. So I'm in the offices have my drawings.
So tell me about what do you think of Yaffa and Michelle?
Michelle.
Your great-grandchildren.
That's a Michelle boy. She's sick now. She's teething. She's so sick. Her nose is running. Her eyes are swollen. But she's sweet, eh?
Yeah.
A sweet little girl.
Yeah. It seems like yesterday Yaffa was her size.
You know, I sing la 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 la. She dances la 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 la. She's there. She's starting to walk. Did you see?
Yeah, a few steps.
Yeah, a few steps.
Yeah.
She's gonna be a year.
And November 1st?
Yeah.
It's amazing, eh?
Yeah, gonna be a year. How do you like Bunny?
She looks the same. She looks good.
Looks good.
Yeah.
She got such a good husband.
Yeah. Does he come visit you? Does he come visit you?
He bought me this plant.
Oh, that's nice.
For Mother's Day, he sent me this.
Oh, great.
That plant cost $40.
That's nice.
Some people don't hate me. And some people do. I don't know why, but that's the way it works. Yeah.
Are you getting tired? Do you want to go to sleep? Are you okay?
I don't go to sleep in the afternoon. I never sleep, yeah.
I always do.
I don't sleep. Even at night I don't sleep. I'm happy to sleep at night.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't sleep in the afternoon. Today the cafeteria was open.
Mm-hmm.
What time is it?
It's
5
10
past
after.
4.
Yeah, 5 past 4.
Yeah, 7 minutes past 4. Yeah, that's my life now. But being here, I am not happy.
Mm-hmm.
I like to be a free person. What I did in my life, it's unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
The things I did.
What do you think was the best thing you ever did in your life? The thing that made you feel the best?
There's a lot of things that made me feel good.
Well, tell me.
I married off a bunny.
Mm-hmm.
That was something for me.
Mm-hmm.
She got a swell guy.
Mm-hmm.
He's a very wonderful person.
Yeah, just a good guy.
And the little one is so sweet. She's sick now. She's teething.
Mm-hmm.
Her nose is running, her eyes are full of water. And if she comes here, you put her down the minute she's outside. She's all the way in the hall. She's starting to walk now. Yeah.
So do you get to see her a lot?
Well, if she's well, Bunny brings her around.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Does she recognize you?
No, she's too young to understand that. She knows Evelyn.
Yeah, of course.
She's gonna, on Evelyn day and night.
Mm-hmm.
The only time Evelyn has free is when she goes to sleep. When Evelyn goes home. But like this, and Bunny still wants to run around. She still wants to go for her exercise. Yeah. Oh, we had a shock with Israel.
Mm-hmm.
It's so heartbreaking. Some days I cry all day.
Well, it's like your baby brother. He's such a good guy.
He was such a good guy. You know, the last time he was here, he said to me, you know, Molly, I'm going to come and see you 3 times a week.
Mm-hmm.
He used to come twice a week. He said, I'm going to come 3 times a week. And that was the end of it.
Oh, yeah.
And he suffered so badly. And Evelyn was standing there when he died.
Yeah.
I had such a bad deal. Unbelievable. What a guy, what children he's got, and grandchildren. And he has a great-grandchild. He has a great-grandchild.
Mm-hmm.
He has the great-grandchild, the same age as mine. You see?
Who's that? Who's the grandchild? Is that Stanley?
Sure.
He has a kid?
And
He does?
what?
Stanley has a kid?
Yeah.
I never knew that.
The same age as mine.
Oh, wow.
Sure.
Now I'll stick the picture up. Wait, let's see, we'll try and focus on the picture.
Sure, the same age.
Wait, let's see if I can get in on it. Here's my photography skills. I don't think it's working. Well, I didn't even know Stanley had a kid.
Sure.
Wow, that's great.
Look at it. And, you know, they're both not youngsters.
Uh-huh. Well, Stanley's what, 41, 42?
In the 40s.
Wow, that's great. I didn't even know he had a baby. So how many grandchildren does Bernice have? No, okay, so wait. Phyllis has, what, 2 kids?
2 kids, yeah.
Okay, and Nancy has how many?
Also 2.
And Aaron has 1.
Yeah.
And Stanley has 1.
Yeah, we were just at the party by
Stanley is in San Diego?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. All these things I didn't know. Because I might be going to San Diego in March. I should call him.
Mm-hmm. I haven't got his address.
Okay, it's no problem. I'll find it.
But look at the bitch of a boy. I've got him.
What's his name?
I don't know. Have I got it written down? I can't even read.
Yeah, I'll read it.
I don't see.
Stanley and Louis.
Louis is his wife.
Lois. No, this...
Lois, yeah. That's his wife. She's a wonderful woman.
No, it's Stanley and Louis. No, this is Louis. That's the kid.
Mm-hmm.
This is Louis, 8 months. 8 months.
Is it all that's the same as my little one? Michelle, they call her. I wanted they should call her, give a name after my mother. Look at this one.
Okay, stick it out a bit and I'll zoom in on it. Okay.
Got it?
Yeah, I got it. So when Michelle sees this when she's grown up, she'll say, "That's me with my great-grandmother." Everybody thinks that picture's terrific. Yeah, I got it. Great.
The beautiful little girl. She's starting to walk now.
Yeah, she walked a few steps.
Yeah, she walked a few steps here.
Yeah.
Here?
But she let me feed her.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh,
I gave her apple juice.
isn't that nice? She's sweet, huh?
Yeah.
Very sweet. She comes here, we sit her down in a minute, she's out in the hall.
Yeah.
She's out in the hall. Evelyn has her hands full.
Mm-hmm.
Bunny likes to go and do her jogging, her jumping. And Evelyn has the kid. She had a kid for her. Yeah, there's a lot to talk about life. But it's enough is enough. You know it's after 4.
Yeah, I'm gonna go soon. I'm gonna make supper tonight.
You gonna make something?
Well, I was gonna buy delicatessen, but I've been eating junk food, so I thought I'd make chicken tonight.
So where you gonna get chicken?
I bought it already.
You bought raw chicken or cooked?
Raw. When am I gonna cook it?
You gonna cook it?
I'll put it in the microwave.
Oh, it doesn't take long, yeah?
20 minutes and it's done.
It's a wonderful world now. Oh,
Well, I just think back when you were married. There was no microwave,
no.
no toasters.
No toasters, no nothing. And I had a beautiful house, and when I got sick, they made a mess of my house. I don't know, they gave everything away. Anita took my Chesterfield, and she remodeled it, and cost her $1,000.
Yeah, it looks beautiful.
But mine was more beautiful than all the wood. Mine, it had all wood. And I had beautiful green satin, and she put on a white schmatter. And her husband is in the textile. She can have all the material that she wants. Well, that's it. Nothing to talk. I don't know nothing now. I don't do nothing. I don't have to do nothing. And that's it. And that's killing me. Just killing me. And it's no life.
What do you want to say to Michelle when she looks at this when she's older?
What I'm going to say? I don't know if I'll be around. You know, at my age, I can go poof tomorrow. You know, there isn't now, you don't make no plans.
Does that scare you? Does that scare you?
No.
No?
No. I lived long enough. Why should it scare me? They're going to send me a letter, you think? You don't think they're going to send me a letter? can one day, I can go to sleep and not get up. Here, every day somebody else dies. So here it's nothing to be, and when it's your time, you just go and that's all.
When you were a little girl, did you ever think you'd live to be 89 or how old you were?
I never talked of my age. I never dreamt about it. I never looked at that as thing. I was too busy doing things. I never think of that. Whatever will be, will be. And that's it.
Do you have anything you want to tell, let's say Michelle or Yaffa, some advice for life?
No. I never gave nobody advice. Never gave anybody advice. I'm not that smart. I'm not that smart to give people advices. I learn a lot of things from other people. I look and I hear and I'm quiet. I don't say nothing. I see people are such a hypocrite. We sit 4 people by a table. So she says, I don't like that woman. I look at her. Why doesn't she like it? What did the woman ever do for her? That she said, I don't like. And when she comes, hello, how are you? You know, kuts in you, what's in you? And such a hypocrite. I said, I hope they don't do that to me. She likes very much. But that woman she doesn't like. But when she comes, she's a changed person. You know the world runs like that. Some people live on false tenses all their lives. You near you, they say, she's so beautiful, she's so wonderful. She goes with, let her go to hell. That's it. Let her go to hell. But I can't do that. Look at how they make me the nails.
Okay, you put up your hand. I gotta zoom in on those sexy nails.
Look.
Okay. Who does that for you?
The nurses.
Yeah.
The nurses.
Look at all those rings on those fingers too. Red nails and fancy rings.
Yeah. This ring here.
Yeah.
Anita was, I don't know if she was 10 years old or 12 years. I was in the country and she went to school, I think, and somebody rang the bell and they had a necklace to sell. She said to the man, I'm only a little girl. I have 50 cents. That's all, and I can't buy the necklace. He says, okay, give me the 50 cents. And he gave her the necklace. So the necklace, the chain was too small for my neck. So I went and I made this ring. You see, this ring was made from the necklace that she bought for 50 cents. And all these diamonds were in the necklace. Would you believe it?
Wow.
That's the ring I made that she bought for 50 cents.
Okay, let's see.
You see the ring?
Focus on it. Oh yeah, I see it. Okay.
You see?
Yeah, I got it.
And this ring here, Anita just gave me for
Okay, stick that one out.
my birthday.
Okay, raise your hand up a little bit more. Okay. Focus on that. What's in that ring? Diamonds?
Pearl.
Oh, it's a pearl.
Yeah.
Okay, got that.
You got it?
Yeah, I got it.
I'm pumped up.
You pooped. Okay, so it's 2 hours you're talking.
Yeah, all right.
So I'm gonna go home and make chicken.
You're gonna make chicken.
Well, it was great. Thank you. We love you all. Give us a big smile for the big finale for your movie star. Okay, give us a big smile. I'm gonna zoom in and we'll sign off. Okay, the incredible Molly Tiger Cooper Kravitz.
I have more names.
More names than Elizabeth Taylor.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
I didn't have as many husbands as she had.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks a lot.
You're welcome. Now you have a history?
Yeah, for history. If I can
Yeah.
find the button to turn off the power.
Oh, the button walked away from you.
There.
It's not out yet.
I don't know how to push stop on it.
Pull out the plug.
Oh, here, wait a second.
Pull out the plug. And that's it.
I hope it works. If not, we'll have to do it.
Pull out the plug and the light will go out.